Hello everyone, and welcome to the third round of my playthrough of Tiger's Lash Out at Ladoga. If you want to have more information on the scenario, then I refer you to the previous videos, one of which is an introduction of the scenario, and two more which of course include the playthroughs of rounds 1 and 2. So for now, I will simply continue with round 3. It's the Germans who have the initiative, and let's see what they're going to do. Well, obviously, they're going to fire with this machine gun at one of the tanks here. And I think I'm going to choose this one because it's actually in the woods. The other ones still have to traverse. Well, that's actually not a very good idea because it will also have cover from the woods and the other ones don't. The reason I was actually thinking of firing at that one was because the others still have to traverse the woods, which cost them as many as 3 movement points, and this one has already gone through it. So I was hoping to slow it down, but I think I will go for one without cover anyway because they already have an armor value of 5 and it's strong enough. So that's it's actually it's 2 for the machine gun against vehicles and 2 more for the infantry, hitting on 4+, of course, and the T-34 has an armor value of 5, and let's just pick that one. That's 2 hits, but 3 saves, so nothing happens there. And then this one is going to do the same, but obviously against this T-34, 4 dice and 5 cover. I score 3 hits and 1 save, so that's a lightly damaged. That's okay. Now it's back to the Soviets, who have 3 actions per action turn, as opposed to the Germans, who have only 2. They did save some command, but they cannot buy this card because it's a command phase card until the command phase, which is a T-70 reinforcement, which isn't really what they were hoping for. Let's see, what else can they do? Shall I make a move with that one? Maybe let's fire first with the mortar, perhaps. 4 dice, suppressive dice against the machine gun there. Does have a lot of cover. 2 for the woods and 4 for the trench. No hits and 1 save. Let's see. Guess I'm going to fire with the lightly damaged T-34. Is that an idea? Well, they're both fatigued, so I could just move around them and for now ignore them. Let's first move this one. Is it going to be a move or a move and fire? I don't want to move all the way over here because then this Pack 40 will be able to fire at me. So I could go as far as this one without being afraid of that. Let's make it a move and fire then. So or actually a fire and move. I'm going to fire first. So 3 dice against the machine gun, which has 6 cover. And that's score 1 hit and 3 saves, so nothing, but I can still move. I could move as many as 5, but as I said, I don't want to end up here, so I'm going to move 3. Let's see, well, let's fire with the heavily damaged one. That's a long shot, but it's not going to move anyway, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is still normal range. firepower of 3, because normally it would be 6, but it's divided by 2 because it is heavily damaged. Also against the machine gun. 1 hit and 3 saves. So back to the Germans. 2 actions. They do have 2 cards for the tank ace, which hasn't actually entered the board yet. So they can play that one, and they could buy the artillery 88s. Do they want to do that? No, well, they could fire at that one. Yeah. No, that's a long shot. Let's not do that, and perhaps save some of the command I have there. Well, this one obviously is going to move in here and claim the neutral objective marker. And they don't have all that many units left. The mortar can fire at that. That's basically the only thing they can do for the moment, but let's fire at the T-34, normal fire, obviously, because it's a vehicle which is immune to suppressive fire. 2 dice and 5 defense. 1 hit and 1 save, so nothing happens. Back to the Soviets with 3 actions. Let's do a fire and move over here with this one. That's 3 dice against 6. It's 3 hits and 3 saves. So very good roll for both of them, really. And then I can still move as many as 5. Well, I still have 5 movement points. So 3, 4, 5. So that T-34 ends up over there. This one is going to do more or less the same thing. Yeah, so I shouldn't put a fatigue token there yet. Score 1 hit and 3 saves. So I have 5 movement points left. 1, 4, 5. Maybe I should attempt a combined fire attack. That might be something I could do. Well, it's back to the Germans, of course. But they don't have all that many things left. Well, they still have these new units here at the back. So let's see what they're going to do. This is that one could actually capture the objective. So 1, 2. I hope you can see that. Yes, you can. I've had to make the image a bit smaller so you'll be able to see the entire board. I guess on the next video, most of these Germans here in the rear should have moved up a little bit, and I could make the image a little bit bigger again so that it will be a bit easier for you to follow the action perhaps. But I thought in this case I wanted to capture these units as well within the image. And this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that vehicle's over there. No, I'm going to move it in here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You know what? I'm going to move it in here. 7. Back to the Russians. 1, 2, 6. Yeah, could only move 5. So I could move through it, but I won't be able to pin any units in pillboxes or entrenchments. I'm assuming I won't be able to pin units in trenches either. Could I move through it anyway? I suppose well, It's a good question, actually, whether you can actually move through a hex with an enemy unit in it and then not pinning it. I guess you could, but then without pinning it. So do I want to do that? 3, 4. Yes, then I could actually fire at it still. So let's do that. I'm going to move and fire. So I'm going to move through this one. I'm assuming I won't be able to pin it. The rules do say that you can pin units in entrenchments and pillboxes, but that rule was actually written before trenches were introduced into the game. I could imagine that if a tank drove over your trench that you would become pinned, at least psychologically badly affected. But, let's just say that a trench also protects you enough from that. So I'm moving through here, 3, 4, and I will look it up later. Let's see if I can find some information on it, and then still fire with it. 3 dice. That's 3 potential hits, and 6 defense. I didn't roll them at the same time this time. And I save only 1, so that's 2 hits. It's funny that the lightly damaged T-34 should cause the actual hits now. So I suppose, even though it's damaged, it's not the gun that's actually damaged. So that one's fatigued now. Could just... No, I do have some more German units, but I still have some Russian ones left to go. Well, these two could fire at that one, of course, with a fire and move. And they won't be able to go beyond this one anyway. Do I want to combine fire? Yeah. Well, yeah, combine fire. Of course, I can do a fire and move. I am going to do a fire and move. Normal fire. Again, 6 defense. That's 2 hits and 1 save, so that takes care of the machine gun. We'll just put these 2 back in. Okay, that's not too bad. And now moving it in here, and that's where it has to stop because of the anti-tank obstacle. And well, this one was going to do the same, but it doesn't have a target currently, so I'm also going to move it in here, and it has to stop. It's back to the Germans again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's where I'm going to put the half track. And it's fatigued, and this bazooka squad or Panzerschreck is going to dismount and position itself in the woods here as well. And then I guess the Germans don't have anything left they could do. Well, yeah, they can still put that one in off fire, but that will have to happen during their next action turn because it's back to the Soviets. Well, this unit can't do anything because it's pinned, and when you're pinned, you can't be put in off fire either, so I'll just fatigue that one. Machine gun, I could move 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, would end up here. Do I want it to end up there, right next to that one? I'm not so sure about. Let's first attack with this one at full firepower. So a concentrated attack. 6 attack dice against 6 defense dice. No, not 6, of course. This one is in an entrenchment and not a trench. So that's 2 for the entrenchment, 2 for the woods, and 1 for the medic. That's a very good shot. That's 5 hits and 2 saves. So that's 3 killed. Let's leave one of the elites in. And 1 more to go. Let's make that a fire and move. 1, 2, 3, and I'll fire at that one as well. 3 against 5 still. 3 hits and 3 saves. This one, no, it's back to the Germans. As I said, they can't do much anymore except putting this one in off fire. I cannot, in this case, I couldn't even fatigue it. As I explained before, I always prefer to put it in off fire whenever possible because, you know, you never know what can happen, and at least it could still react to certain things. But in this case, it's very important to put it in off fire, not to fatigue it, because then you wouldn't be able to fire the anti-tank gun. I don't think that anything is actually going to come within its line of sight, but you know, just to get used to it, it's always better to do this. So now the Russians can finish their turn, and they don't have to think of the Germans anymore of what they might want to do. 1, 2, 3, and also, so that's also a move and fire. 3 attack dice against 5 defense dice. We score 1 hit and 2 saves, so nothing happens. And then the Russians also just have a single unit left, which is this machine gun. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will end up here. I don't know if the Germans are going to have the initiative, but it's quite likely because they have many more points. I do want to move it forward, but I don't want to put it here. So 1, 2, 3. Note that it costs the vehicle 3 movement points to move into a woods hex, and infantry only 2. So that one's fatigued as well, and I think that's all the Russians as well. Yes, so that's the action phase. So let's move on to the command phase. The Germans have, well, they have taken control of another objective. There we go. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points here. 5, 6, 7. And the Russians have still 5. They should try and capture that one. And here you can really see their lack of infantry support, because they lost a lot of infantry on the first 2 rounds. And yeah, they could take it with tanks, obviously, but those are being slowed down here by the anti-tank obstacle. Yeah, so the Russians have 5, and they do get 1 for the seize the initiative card, so they get 1 over there. And I'll change these 5 for a single command token with a value of 5. I have to spend command in order of initiative, so that's first the Germans. The 88 card works just like the Katyusha card or the Nebelwerfer card. You have to pay it at the beginning of the round with available command, and then you get to fire before the Russians do anything, if the Russians have the initiative. Otherwise, of course, it's part of the German turn. So that would give them, technically, because it's before the start of the round, so that technically would give the Germans 3 actions per turn as well. Other than that, have they actually bought those cards yet? I'm not sure about that even. Let's see, which cards are they again? Command phase, and the other one is a command phase card as well. So they can't do much more. Do they desperately want to retain the initiative? I don't think so. It will cost them a lot of command, and gradually they should be losing a lot of the command points they have now, so it might be better to save them for later during the game, that they will have some options too. And these two can probably not be saved anyway, and even if I did fire with them first, they're unlikely to cause a lot of damage, so I'm not going to put any more money in initiative for now. Well, I do have a lot. 4, 5, 6, 11. The Russians have 5, 10, 11. I do want the Russians to put something at least on initiative as well. So let me just put 5 more anyway. Not so much because I want to gain it, but because I don't want the Russians to be able to spend it freely if they do want to get the initiative. The Russians could, of course, decide not to spend a lot of command on initiative because the Germans aren't all that much of a threat now anyway. So what do the Russians want to do? They currently have 10, and that one is 3. They could put something on there, so they'll be able to catch up a bit sooner. Okay, so for the Russians, I will put 2. I don't necessarily need to gain initiative, but just so that I'll be able to get it later on more easily. And then I still have 8 left, which is a lot. And the Russians are also going to buy that T-70 tank for a cost of 3. And what I always do is once I've bought a card, I just put it at the bottom of the pile. Not of this deck. This is the regular reinforcement deck. This is the vehicle reinforcements deck. And I just put it face up so that I know that it's already been used. And then the T-70 we're going to put over here. Okay, that's that. Determine initiative. It's still in the hands of the Germans. Draw strategy cards. The Germans are going to draw a card from the winter weather deck. A sniper attack. Not the most valuable one, although they could potentially, of course, target a mortar or a machine gun. And now it's up to the Russians. If I do want to get some more reinforcements, I should do it now, because otherwise any units I do buy will never make it to the end of the board. So let's draw a... So yeah, I wouldn't be able to buy them until the next turn. Well, maybe not the best decision either, but hey, we can always make good decisions in life. A heavy weapons reinforcement, again, so a mortar squad, +2 regulars, or a machine gun squad, and potentially a truck, but there's a special rule in this scenario which forbids buying trucks because of the heavy snow, that non-track vehicles won't be able to, deep snow I should say, won't be able to move, so that's why you can't buy them. But yeah, maybe a mortar, and later I could actually form a double mortar squad, and maybe that's going to be of some use to the Russians. Remove tokens, always the most boring part of a turn. Well, the good news is that this squad is no longer pinned, so it can move freely again. I have to remove these as well. So the Russians are making some headway, slowly but surely. The thing is, when the Tigers appear, will they make it in time? Well, the Tigers probably will. But if the Tigers position themselves here in the woods, they already have an armor value of 6 and the thick armor trait, so 1 will be automatically saved. So all things considered, yeah, that will be a tough nut to crack for the Russians. So they might have wanted to be a little bit more ahead when it comes to their position on the board. Okay, place units in up-fire mode in order of initiative. Well, I left the Pack 70 in up-fire because, of course, the Russians sooner or later will have to enter some of these hexes, or they could go here. But yeah, that will slow them down a lot as well. It's probably not something they want to do. They will try to wrestle that command point from the from the Germans probably as well. Let's see, do I want to put, well, I can't put a mortar squad in up fire. This one I don't want to put in up fire. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7. Potentially it could move all the way over there, but then I could still shoot at it. No, just the Pack 40 in up fire, and the Russians don't want to put anything in up fire. Squad transfers. I don't think there are any. Nope. Scenario reinforcements and events. No, we won't get any until round 5 when the Tigers are going to appear. So we're going to advance the round marker, and that brings us to turn 4, which I will record separately. Thank you for watching.